Hey, Seasoners, welcome back to another episode of the Travel and Tourism Podcast, my first season. Today's guest worked for Club Med as a meetings and events manager in 2022 and 2023. Her first season was in Turks and Caicos, and even though she's from Mexico, she really only found out about Club Med when she went to France to obtain her master's degree from the Université de Nice. She also worked at Club Med Charlevoix and Cancun and is here to share her story with us. Please help me welcome Lili Alferez. Lili, how are you?
Hello, Greg. It's a pleasure to see you here, to hear you. I'm doing great. Thank you.
I would speak in Spanish, but I don't want to ruin this moment. Okay. Even though
don't
I did,
worry.
Let's see, a year and a half in Mexico. Yeah, my Spanish is as the English say, no bueno. Okay.
Well, lucky you, because I speak English and French as well. So
yes, and you actually live in one of my favorite places in the world. Why don't you tell everyone where you're from?
Yes, for sure. I was raised and born in Cancun, Mexico.
My God, what is it like? Is it as great as I think? Because I'd really like to be there right now.
I really consider myself lucky. I come from a very beautiful place. It feels nice to be part of this small city and beautiful. So
and I told you that the other day that you went to university in Merida, right? And I told you a coworker of mine is actually from there, working with me at the university. So but I'm really intrigued that you wanted to get a master's degree, so you traveled all the way to France to get it, and you got a master's in French as a foreign language, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Now, why French though?
Well, my bachelor's degrees is languages, and when I was back in bachelor, it was oriented to teaching. And just right after university, I started teaching French in elementary school, and I was not a very well French speaker. I wanted to improve, get better. So I knew that I had to go and visit the country and live abroad. And that's what I did. I wanted to live the experience, learn the language, learn about the culture. And my main objective since the beginning was to do a master's degree. I didn't have an idea that I was going to do Français langue étrangère, but yeah, I wanted to study in France, do university, or at least a master's degree, and that's what I did right after bachelor.
And you went to a nice place to do it, right? You were in Nice, right?
Yes, but first, before that, before doing my master's degree, I was a babysitter, like an au pair, and I was first in Tours, not so far from Paris. I lived there for 2 years. Then I went to Nice because I needed the ocean. I'm from Cancun, so I needed to be close to the ocean. And just right after Tours, I went to Nice, and then I moved to Paris.
Okay. Now, what's that like? What's it like working and going to school in France?
Oh, it's very, very difficult. Not difficult, sorry. Different, I mean. Was so different. In Mexico, the education, it's completely different. I remember I didn't used to read a lot of books, but when I was doing my master's, I was all the time in the library. All the time, like from 7 a.m. until 11 p.m. Yeah, because here in Mexico, we don't have the reading culture, and I was not used to. And then when I was doing my master's, I had to read a lot, and that for me was a little bit difficult.
Yeah, because I work in the University of Montreal, and I'm always amazed that I work in engineering and computer science. I'm always amazed at all the Chinese or Iranian students that we have that come. So you're going to a completely other country. French is not your first language, and you're required to study and read in French. So
exactly.
I mean, the hats off to you, bravo for doing that. I
Thank you.
I have a hard time just studying now in English. Okay.
Yes, it is hard. It was hard for me at the beginning because first of all, when I arrived to the country, I had to learn the language. It took me 1 year, 1 year and a half to do as well the French certification to get into university. And I'm glad that I passed my certification. But once I started the master's, of course, I faced another challenge, and that one was Right. I'm thinking French like all the time because I didn't have exams. I had only essays at the end of the semester, and I had to do around 5 or 6 essays. So that was a challenge for me because I was born and raised here in Mexico. Of course, my main language, my mother tongue is Spanish, and I studied my whole life English. But then I arrived to France, so I had to put away the English and start to focus on French.
And was it while you were studying or babysitting that, I don't know, someone in the family that you were sitting were going to Club Med? Is that how you found out about Club Med?
Yes, exactly. When I was babysitting in France back in 2013 and 2014, my hosted family, I remember very well. It was February 2014. It was January, sorry. They told me that they were going on vacation and they were going to a resort. And at the same time, they asked me if I wanted to join them. At that time, I was not sure if I wanted to go with them because I also wanted to have my own vacation away from the family. I told them that I wanted to go to Spain, and they said, okay, you can go to Spain, but can you please at least help us the first day that we're going to Club Med? And when she said that, I remember I asked her what's Club Med. I never have heard about it, not even in Cancun when I was.
This is okay. Just for the listeners and me, this is strange because there's several in Mexico. So you're saying you never went as a GM to Club Med in Mexico. You were like,
yeah, never.
Okay, so
never.
It's pretty funny that you had to go to France to find out about Club Med.
Exactly. So they asked me if I could help them because they were going by car from Tours to Club Med Chamonix, because we went to Club Med Chamonix. And so I went with them. I didn't stay the whole stay in. I just did one day, like a day pass. So I was a GM for a day. And then I came back to the house, and next day I took my flight to Spain.
So let's fast forward. What made you want to apply to Club Med?
Well, honestly, when I first went to Club Med as a GM, I never thought that I was going to end up being a GO. I never thought that. Why did I apply? Well, in 2019, I came back to France and tried to do my left in Paris, but it didn't work out. I stayed only for 4 months, and I came back. So when I came back, I tried to look up for a job, teaching job, but I didn't get in the university that I wanted. So I told myself, well, Lili, you were born here. This is your city. You speak 3 languages. You never have worked in tourism. And why not? Let's give it a try. That's what I did. That's exactly what I did.
And where was your interview?
It was in Club Med Cancun, the first one, so at front desk to be a receptionist.
Well, wait, they interviewed you at the Club Med?
Yes, exactly. I had an interview at Club Med Cancun, but at the same time, I also had a second interview to work with this excursions company. And I didn't know that this excursion company are the ones that run the excursions to Club Med Cancun.
Okay.
Yes. I go first to this interview, to this excursions company, and the next day I go to Club Med Cancun. And I remember when I finished the interview at Club Med Cancun, and when I was going out, leaving the resort, I crossed one of the ladies who interviewed me the day before for the excursions company. And she saw me at Club Med Cancun, and she said, what are you doing here? And I told her, I was honest with her. I told her, well, I came as well to an interview, but now I have to decide if I want to be a receptionist or I want to do groups excursions for you. So I declined the Club Med offer, and I accept the other one. At the same time, I was still already in Club Med Cancun because they are the ones that run nowadays excursions, photography, and scuba diving.
But how do you get to Turks and Caicos your first season then?
Well, I started to work this company on 2019 until 2021. I was all the time in Club Med Cancun. I started to meet people. And then in 2021, I remember I met Alan Vasquez, his meetings and events. He's still currently working for CloudMed. And I told him, because since the moments that I start to work, even if I was not part of CloudMed, I was not a geo. I wanted to be there since the beginning. I was looking at the geos, doing crazy science, talking to the guest, and doing all this stuff all the time. I noticed that I wanted to be a geo, but I wanted to do meetings and events. I didn't want to do reception or do something else. I knew since the beginning I wanted to do meetings and events. So I met Alan, and Alan was the person who helped me to get into the company. He put me in touch with Ellen Schneider, which is the meetings and events manager in the NAMSOM. And then it took a month. I quit Ancilla, and 1 month after I joined CloudMed as a geo.
And did you know where Turks and Caicos was?
At that moment already, yes. Not at the beginning when I started in 2019. I remember I was talking with a geo, and he said, "Well, I just want to say goodbye because I'm going to Turquoise." And I remember I told him, "Where are you going? I don't know, where is it?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm going to CloudMed Turquoise in Turks and Caicos Island." I think that was on beginning 2020. I never heard about Turks and Caicos Islands before, so that's when I heard about it, and of course I had to Google it.
Okay, so you get sent there. Your chief of village is Shira Ben Sessa.
Shira, exactly, yes.
And then I guess you were there for a change of chief of village. Then it's Patrizio Bianchi, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so what do you remember about your first day or your first week? Were you surprised about anything?
Well, I already knew many things about the geos because of my experience that I have working with this outsourcing in CloudMed Cancun. And I remember on my arrival day, there was my dear friend Oliver from reception. He's still a geo as well. Oliver, if you hear this, hello. Hola, mi amigo. Espero que estés muy bien.
Shout out Oliver.
And he was there with Caroline, meetings and events as well. She was the person who was going to train me. And then she was supposed to leave one more after. Those are the first two people that I met when I got to Turquoise.
How big is your team, or is it just you? Like you're the meeting and events manager, and that's it. There's not
exactly
like two or three.
Yes.
Okay. And
it was only me.
are there that many people coming to Turks and Caicos every week that actually need an event?
The village has many groups. Sometimes twice a year or once a year we have buyouts as well.
Yes.
It has one meeting room. It's not a big one, but it's a regular one. You will see a couple of seminar groups. Okay. I mean, I had it during the year. I had around 4 or 5, and the rest of the groups were just leisure and weddings, because I also did weddings, and you also are in charge of it.
Is there a lot of weddings in Turks and Caicos?
I did a couple, around 8 weddings, maybe.
Really?
Weddings.
Wow.
Yeah. Most of.
All on the beach. All on the beach.
Yes. Okay. All the time. And then we used to have the reception by the grass. I don't know, just right behind Sharky's, between Sharky's and the tennis.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually did two big weddings of 90 people each one. So.
How many people?
90.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Yes.
Does any married couple say like, "Oh, it's okay, the geos can come or watch," or is it just strictly for family?
Geos were invited as well. It's just that most of the time, at that time that the ceremony happened, most of the geos were busy. I remember in one wedding there was only the couple, and they were Italian, and they didn't speak English or Spanish or French or nothing, just Italian. Thank luck we had a geo from Italy. She was just doing the summer, and she was actually translating everything, because the minister didn't speak Italian and the couple was not understanding anything. So we talked with this geo and she helped us.
Okay.
Yes, it was weird, but so it was a very lovely moment. Just weird because they didn't speak any language like English or French. But thank God we had this girl, this Geo, and she helped us, and she was doing all the translation from English to Italian.
Okay. Well, everyone knows I love planning things and I like when things go right. I also like when they go wrong. So, and I also like hearing stories about that. So, did any event, like my favorite is of course when you've just set up something and then the rain clouds are coming in. So does stuff like that happen? Like you have to make this decision, is it going to rain or is it not going to rain? Did that ever happen to you?
It happened once in a wedding. It was just raining like 10 minutes before the ceremony start, and by the ceremony start, the rain just stopped. I was very, very worried about it, but the couple was very, very easygoing. And they were telling me, like, Lily, don't worry. It's okay. If it rains, it rains. And if it doesn't rain, amazing. I was the one who
Oh,
was very, very worried.
they actually said that to you?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
they
okay.
actually said that to
That's
me.
nice. That's very
Yeah,
nice. I thought
it
this
was
was going to
nice,
go
but
another
then
way.
it was nice, but after the ceremony, it was a nightmare for me.
Because when I was in Club Med, we always were asked, when is it going to stop raining? And they wanted the GMs wanted a specific time when it would stop raining, so
Yeah.
we didn't know how to answer this, so we had to answer it with humor. So we would say, oh, I don't know, I'm a GO, not God. I don't know when it will stop raining.
Yes. Well, nowadays when I meet the couples on their arrival day, I always talk about plan B in case of rain, because it's something I always let them know that I do not control the weather, guys. So you have to understand that this is a possibility. We never know. I cannot tell you if it's going to rain or not, but we need to talk about plan B, because in case that we have it, that we have rain, we expect rain at the end of the day. We can do nothing. And I always tell them that you have to make the decision. Like, it's you, not me. And we
Yeah,
always take
exactly.
it at last minute.
Yeah, I don't want to be blamed for anything. Okay.
Exactly. Yes. So it's always the couple decision. I always tell them, like, it's 2 p.m. You have to make the decision, like, right now.
Was anything surprising about your first season, quote unquote?
Well, I was telling you about this wedding. It was a very small wedding. We only had around 12 people. But the thing about this wedding is that half of the party were staying in another resort. Okay. And they, of course, they were welcome for the wedding, but just for the wedding. And it turned out a nightmare for me, because right after the ceremony, the guests who were not staying in Club Med were trying to get drinks and food from Sharky's. And they didn't have a bracelet, and they were calling me. So I was chasing them like all around the village. They were hiding from me. And
Okay.
and I
This is
remember
your job too? What?
it's
Okay.
it was a group, it was the wedding, so
Okay.
I was in charge of the
Oh,
wedding, you
okay.
know so they are the guests of the wedding. So I remember I was doing the breakdown of the ceremony, because we only had the ceremony, and they were trying to get drinks and food from Sharky's, and they moved to the main bar, and they were trying to get drinks as well. And my manager, I remember the room division manager at that time, was telling me, like, Lily, please make sure they pay, because if they want to get drinks, they have to pay the night pass. So I was doing the breakdown, and right after that, I had to chase people and tell them, please go to reception and pay for your night pass. And there was a couple in this party. Because when they arrived, they complained about their room because they didn't have a bathtub in their room, and I was like, guys, you are in Club Med. We don't have bathtubs here. And the next day, they came back for the wedding, but reception didn't cut their bracelet. But I knew who was the couple. And they put again the bracelet, and I told them, please, you have to go and pay to a reception. And she said, no, because I have my bracelet. And I told her, I know you have your bracelet, but I know as well that you did your checkout this morning and you complained because we don't have a bathtub. So if you left Club Med because you don't have a bathtub, I think that you can pay 150 night pass, right? And she didn't want it to pay. And even if she left because she didn't have a bathtub in her room. So just that they didn't want it to
Hey, I
happen.
never. I had a bathtub once in 10 years. Okay, I had to go to Australia to get a bathtub. That's the only time I had a bathtub. Yikes. Well, roughly how long were you at Turks? Like, when did you arrive? What month did you arrive? Sorry, I should have
I
asked you.
arrived in November 2022.
Okay,
No, 2021.
so you
Sorry,
were there
2021.
for
A
Christmas and New
year.
Year's.
Yeah, I was there
So what was your
the
first
whole year.
Christmas and New Year's like working in Turks?
It was very nice. I mean, it was surrounded by a lot of people. It was not my first Christmas or New Year's Eve away from my family. I lived 5 years in France, and I never came back to Mexico in those 5 years. So I'm used to be away from my family, and it was nice. It was wonderful. I mean, I was in paradise. I was in Turks and Caicos Islands
Well, yeah,
celebrating New Year's
that's
Eve. So
exactly. You
it
weren't in
felt
the
amazing.
you weren't in the snow of Chamonix, you were on the
Exactly.
beach. You got Jojo swimming somewhere there, you had
Exactly. Getting tan every day.
yes. Hey, it's not hell, it's a pretty good life, right?
I know exactly. Yeah. Anyway, every day I try to go to the beach and get tan at least for half an hour, 45 minutes.
You're from Mexico. You probably just look at the sun and you're tan. I'm so jealous all the time.
That's true, Greg.
And so at the end of this, I guess a year that you spent there, do they ask? I don't know, does Club Med still do a dream sheet like any? Because we used to get like a dream sheet.
Yes.
You would pick
Yeah.
your top three, and then you wouldn't get any of your top three. But sometimes you would. So do they do that still?
And sometimes you wouldn't. But in my case, I did.
Wait a
I
minute, you
got my wish.
requested Charlevoix?
Yes,
You
believe it or
wanted to
not,
go to
I did
Charlevoix?
request it. Yes.
Why did you want to go to the snow?
Well, I knew the snow already, but the reason that I wanted to go to Charlevoix is because of the village. That's a
Okay.
real meetings and events
Okay, but you know
village.
that you learned a different French when you were studying French. So now you're amongst Quebecois. Did you have a hard time understanding Quebecois when you first heard it? Because it's a totally
Well,
different accent. So
yes.
I'm guessing you picked up on that. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have a French accent. Most of the time, people tell me, "Oh, you're from France," and I said, "No, thank
Well,
you. I
sure.
appreciate it."
You studied. You lived there. You studied there.
Yes.
That's normal that you would pick it up.
Yeah.
But when you were
And
in Charlevoix, did you pick up any Quebecois?
well, I had to try to speak a lot of French with the Quebecois in Turks. I
Yes.
think that helped me a lot. There's a lot of French Canadians in Turquoise, and I was trying all the time, like get involved or try to get to know people from Quebec, because at the beginning, yeah, I remember it was hard to understand them, and
Yeah, yeah, because here
I
you are. I learned French in France, and you're like, "What? I thought I spoke French. What's going
yes,
on?" Yeah.
exactly, it happened the same to me, but I was like, let's say that I was chasing Quebecois just to improve my French.
Okay. And so you wanted to go
Yeah.
to Charlevoix. You wanted to go for the village. Is it because you had never been to Canada yet, or?
That's one of the reasons, and also because Charlevoix is a real meetings and events village, and I
Oh,
wanted to get more experience in that.
so I'm guessing they have a bigger conference room than Turks.
Oh yes, oh yeah, they have a really huge conference room, and it can also be split in three, so you can have like three small meeting rooms, or just two, like one small and one medium, or the big one.
I never worked a village like that, so I find it hard to imagine that like you're packing for this village and you have to leave all your bathing suits and bikinis behind. Is that weird?
Oh yes. Yes, yeah. And also, besides that, I was also kind of sad because I did a lot of scuba diving in Turks and Caicos,
Ah,
and I got certificate 3 times in 3 different certifications, and I knew that I was going to miss that. because of course I was not going to be able to dive in Quebec.
Well, we could have found you some ice diving somewhere. Ice diving's fun if you've never done it. Okay.
Oh, I don't think that's for me. I'm a
Yeah.
freezing person. I'm very,
Oh,
very
oh, okay. Then
freezing.
you would not
Yeah.
enjoy ice diving.
Oh, it was no, I don't think so. And at the beginning, when I got to Charleroi, it was so difficult for me. It was so cold all the time. Even the Geos were laughing at me because I had it many, many jackets and wearing, hats and gloves and everything. And I remember Matthew, the sport manager, he was all the time laughing at Lily, look at you. I was like, please leave me. I'm cold. I need to get warm.
There's a sports manager at Charlevoix.
Yes, there's a sport manager in
What what's
Charleroi.
what sports are there?
Well, basically, it's pretty much based into indoor sports.
Okay.
They have the geo gym, like land sports.
Okay.
And on winter, of course, we don't do like football or basketball, all of that kinds, but we have ping pong and then the gym and the gym and the gym.
Okay. So
So
is it a nice gym?
it's a nice gym, very, very equipped. And then they do not have a trapeze, but they have other kinds of sorry Greg, I don't know the
That's
words of
okay.
that in English.
So you're saying they do like maybe Spanish web, or they do the hoop, or your
Yes,
like a
exactly,
single
the
trapeze.
hoop
Okay.
and the other ones. Sorry, I don't know the
Oh
words
no, it's
in
okay.
English.
I don't even think I do. Okay. Now,
we
so what kind of guests do you get? Are the guests mainly Canadian that come there, or are they French from France coming?
I remember the last winter season, I remember there were a couple of French, not many, but I also as I met a lot of Canadians, Quebecois in Turquoise, I let them know that I was in Charlevoix, and some of them visit. Most of them are Quebecois, of course, but we also had Americans. And even in November, I remember we had a group from Brazil. We have around 150 Brazilians.
Oh wow, they must have brought the party, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was very nice to have them because we had them for a whole week. They are very, very nice. That was a really nice group.
And are you exempt from doing shows because you're a meetings and events manager, or do you have to do the shows too?
I was also able to do the shows. I really enjoy it, actually. I used to perform when I was in high school, dancing or singing. And that was a part of me when I was working in Club Med. It gave me a lot of throwbacks and the excitement of doing it again. And yes, I was in 2 or 3 shows a week.
Did you sing in Club Med?
No, never. No,
No?
never.
Okay.
No, no, never.
Why not? Why not?
But
Too shy?
yeah, I feel I was too
Okay.
shy for that. I was able to do other things, but not singing. Yeah, I really like dancing, so I was always joining for dancing.
What kind of
Yeah.
dance do you do?
Well, I was in the circus show, and I was as well in Charleroi Got Talent. And for Charleroi Got Talent, we had this show just only girls performing, and I remember we used to have an outfit very, very sexy. I was all the time cold because that outfit was not covered from my back. So
Okay.
every time when I was getting ready, I was so cold. I was so cold. I remember that, but I also enjoy it. And then the circus one was the completely opposite. I had a very colorful outfit. It was like circus. But I do have pictures, and I can send you some of them from my outfits.
Okay. And as the chief of village was Francis Lacoste, so is he Canadian, or
Yes.
is he European?
He's Quebecois.
Okay.
He's Quebecois. Yes, the chief of village is Francis Lacoste, and he's Quebecois.
Have a Canadian chief in a Canadian resort, because my whole time in Club Med, I spent 10 years, and we always heard that one day there will be a village in Canada, but so it's nice to see it finally opened.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
is it close to a town at all? Can you go somewhere on your day off, or no?
Well, there is Baie-Saint-Paul. the closest town. It's like half an hour, 40 minutes away from Charleroi, from the village. And there are actually a lot of Mexican GEs, and they live in this town. So whenever the bus pick them up at the residence and bring them to the village, you can also take the same bus, and go to the downtown,
There are
to this
Mexican
village.
GEs working.
Yes.
Okay, I did not know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, there are a lot of them actually.
And when did you arrive to Charlevoix?
I arrived at the middle December
Okay,
2022.
so you had Christmas and New Year's in Canada. Whoa.
Yes,
Now,
again.
what kind of winter? Do they do snowshoeing at all or snowmobiling? Do they do anything outside in the winter? Like cross
Yeah,
country
they do.
ski?
Yes, they do snowshoeing, skiing, and that's all. Yeah.
Okay. And did you do snowshoeing?
Oh, yes, I did a snow showing.
Oh, you
I
did?
also, yes, of course, I
Oh
had it to
my.
live the experience.
Oh,
I
really?
did a snow. Yes.
I could have told you about it. Okay. Okay. So you wouldn't have to. Okay.
It was so tiring, but it
I
was
know,
worth it.
right? And it's so slow.
Yes, so slow, but totally worth it. I mean, when we
Okay.
got to the top and and then I saw the view, I was
Oh,
so
so they had
happy.
you. Okay, so they had you climb something. You weren't going in a straight
Yes,
line. Oh, okay, 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 okay. Good.
and I also ski as well. I was not a. I mean, I'm not a professional. I think I ski in France like 2 times, 3 times, maybe. I mean, in Charleroi, I had the chance to do it a couple of times.
Now, does this village stay open in the summer?
Yes, it is a village that is open in the summer. I did not do the summer, but I know that they do biking.
Okay, so we mentioned some activities before, snowshoeing. Did you have an occasion to try any other winter activity or winter sport?
Yes, I also did the sliding, la luge, also known as la luge in Quebecois.
Okay, and
Yes,
are you doing this on a tire or is it an actual sled?
it's an actual sled. I actually did it on my last day in Charleroi.
Oh, so
I,
you were like, if I get hurt, it's okay. I'm leaving. Okay.
well, it was an activity that everyone told me that I had it to try at least once. I never had it to do it during the whole winter. And when I heard that I was going to Cancun, I said, like, come on, Lily, you have to do it. It's now or never. And I'm glad that I did it because it is a very, very nice activity. I also realized that I don't like the speed.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask you, how do you go
Yes.
fast? Okay.
Oh my God. Everyone goes going so fast. And I was actually the last one to get to the bottom of the mountain.
Okay.
Yes,
So
because
you were,
everyone was going so fast and I was sliding very, very slow. I was afraid. I didn't like the speed at all. And I discovered it with skiing. But at least I did it. I was afraid to do it and I fear my fear,
so unlike Maverick and Goose and Top Gun, you did not feel the need for speed.
Exactly.
Okay. Got it.
Yes, yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say you spent roughly 6 months there in Charlevoix?
4 months actually.
4 months.
4 months.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, because I came back at the end of March. Yes. This year.
Did we miss anything talking about Charlevoix?
No, it was my first time in Canada. And actually, Canada welcomed me in a very funny way because the day that we land, there was a snowstorm.
Oh boy.
And yes, and I remember there were other geos in the same flight as me. And they sent a van to pick us up at Montreal Airport. So we drive from Montreal Airport to Charlevoix. And I think that you can do it like in 4 hours max. But that night with the snowstorm, we did it in 7 hours. Oh my God. I will never forget that night. So
Classic
cold.
Canada. Classic Canada.
Yes.
Are you saying on a normal day, Montreal, Charlevoix, it's 4 hours? I thought it was 2 hours. Yikes. Okay.
It's 2 hours. Okay. I honestly,
Oh no,
I
I
mean,
don't
I
know.
asked.
I could have swore because you're near Quebec City there, are you? Or are you not near Quebec City?
It is near Quebec City.
Well, they say bridge to bridge, but I guess if it's 2 hours, that means you're probably going over the limit, over the speed
Okay.
limit. Okay.
Okay. Well, I asked how long it takes from the airport from
Okay.
Montreal to Charlevoix, and they said like 3 4 hours. So,
Okay.
but
And
that night we did 7. I remember
you
we
win.
left the airport at midnight, and we arrived at Charlevoix at 7:30 a.m.
Oh my God. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry about that. Yikes. Okay.
it was a very nice experience. I mean, it's like
Sure.
it was included in the package. So now I remember it, and I have nice memories, you know?
Some people find snow pretty. You probably had all you cared to see about snow after 7 hours, right? Like, okay, it's falling from the sky. I get it.
Well, as I said before, I really enjoy it. I mean, I'm from Cancun. That was a completely different landscape for me, you know? It felt magical, like Christmas all the time. It was beautiful. Another weather. So for me, it was an adventure, you know? It was something that I never lived before, like the real Canadian winter.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
You
I
you
was
you
happy to,
you could
anyway.
cross that one off your bucket list. That is for sure.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
so now you're going back to your hometown. Now, out of curiosity, I know Cancun's a big place, but roughly how far away, like, were you living from the village itself? It would be a half hour car ride.
Yes. Yeah, by
Oh, okay.
car, half an hour, 40 minutes. Yes,
Oh,
sometimes a little bit more because of the traffic,
did you
but
ever
no
go
traffic.
to any of the bars in Cancun ever, even before you were a geo? Or do you just avoid that area because of us people, the tourists?
Yeah, I didn't go to the bars. I
Okay.
tried to avoid the touristic places here in Cancun.
Okay. Mission accomplished. Okay. So yeah, there's no way I would have bumped into you then at Coco Bongo, is what you're saying, right? Okay.
Actually,
I love
I
Coco
only have
Bongo.
been in Cocobongo only once in my life.
Oh, I would go there every day if I lived in Cancun. I love that bar. It was so cool. We never had a bar like that anywhere. Anywhere I've been, I've never seen a bar. So I was always going there. Everyone would go to Daddy-O's, but I'd go to Coco Bongo.
I only have
Now,
been there once. So
okay. Well, so now you're going back to the resort where you had an interview, and your chief of village is Jose Luis. Is this correct?
exactly.
And where is
Yes.
where is he from?
He's from Mexico.
Okay, all
He's
right,
Mexican. I don't know where is he from. I believe he's from Guadalajara or Mexico City,
okay.
but he's Mexican. Yes.
And do they still do the on Wednesday? Is it still Mexico Day? Did they?
Yes, the Mexican night. Yes.
Okay, and the mariachi come in.
The mariachi comes. Yes, and
I
then we have.
love. Do you like mariachi music? Because I love mariachi music, and I
Yes, of course, I love mariachi
what
music.
what is your favorite? Do you have a favorite mariachi song?
I think El Rey.
Mine is El Carretero.
Oh, El Carretero.
Yeah, no, I listened. I got hooked on that song in Playa Blanca, another
Oh,
club
okay.
village
Yeah.
we had. So
Oh,
that's my favorite one.
you're lucky because you did Playa Blanca. I mean,
Yes. Okay, so people have told you about Playa Blanca then, right? So
yes, yes,
yes,
yes, yes. I have heard about the other villages that close in Mexico, and I
yes.
heard amazing things about Playa Blanca. Apparently, it's a beautiful spot.
It was, yeah. It was
Yeah.
very small, but intimate, so everyone got to know everyone else. And yeah, it was such a fun time. But I like Cancun too. I spent a year there, I was there just before it had changed to a family village. So,
Okay.
so you never got to see it as a singles village, right?
No, never,
Because you were
never.
there in 2023, which, even though we're recording this in 2023, this won't come out till 2024. But yes, you were. When did you arrive in Cancun in 2023?
On May.
Oh, May. Okay.
On May. I only did 2 months in Cancun.
Okay. Well, yeah, because you live there, you don't have to do more than that,
Yes.
right? Okay. But you had a nice experience there.
Yes, it was a nice experience. They actually called me as well to do the buyout for Atlantis.
I missed Atlantis again. I never got to work
Yeah,
work
never.
Atlantis or
Really.
the. No,
That's
no,
my
never.
favorite group. That's my favorite group. They are very happy people, having
And
fun all the time, laughing. And I did it when I was working for the excursions company. I organized many excursions for them, and then I did it as well as a meetings and events, not manager but coordinator. So I had the chance to live both of them, like the excursions part and also in the village.
okay. And this is, yeah, so Cancun's bigger than Turks and Charleroi, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Bigger.
And I'm assuming
Yes.
you were quite busy there.
Yes, actually, when they called me, I remember Ellen and at that time Sophia from Meetings and Events. She's still working in CloudMed as well. They said that Lily, we need help. We have more than 15 groups in 1 month. So we were three ladies in Meetings and Events.
Okay, so here you were three.
Yes.
So you
Yeah,
had
yeah.
other GOs to chase the guests that weren't wearing the right bracelet or trying to drink
Exactly.
for free. Okay, good.
Here you can see the difference. When I was in Turks, it was only me, and
Okay.
and here in Cancun is we needed 3 people for.
Okay. Wow.
Yes, we had a lot of groups on May and June as well, so we were really really busy, and it's always like whenever it's slow season for the resort for the village, is high season for meetings and events. So
And were these groups coming just from all over the world or
all
from
over the
Mexico?
world, most of them from the States, Canada, France, Mexico as well. Yeah, but those 4 countries are the most important ones. Yeah, I mean, the most common ones. I mean,
were you happy to get back to the ocean and the beach?
oh yes, of course. After the winter in Charleroi, I mean, it was very nice about the experience. It was my first time, like in the middle, living in the middle of the mountains, and I really enjoyed it. But I was so happy to be back in the sun.
And
Yes.
Of all your seasons, was there anyone you enjoyed working with, like that you clicked with, that you got along?
Yes, I actually even before being a geo, when I was working for Ancilla in the excursions, I I know you know her, yeah, Sydney Godreau.
Ah,
Uh,
Sydney.
uh, Sydney, yes, I met her when she was meeting some events in Cancun, and I was doing the excursions. We worked together because I was doing excursions for the groups, and she was doing meetings and events, and we worked together. That's where I met her. She's a very very nice girl. I really enjoy working with her, and also with Sophia. She was my manager here in Cancun. I met her before going to Turks as well. She was the meetings and events coordinator, and we used to work together even before being a geo and after when I joined CloudMed as well. So, yeah, those are the 2 people that I remember the most. Also, Caroline from meetings and events. She's the one that trained me in Turks, and she's the one that learned to me, teach me everything that I know for meetings and events.
Where was Caroline from?
She's from Brazil. She's from Brazil, and currently she's in Charleroi. She's the meetings and events manager.
Brazil to the snow and cold. Yikes. Okay.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh well, she was in Brazil and then moved to Turks. She trained me. Then she came back to Brazil and went to Canada. Yeah,
Poor
yeah.
girl. Poor girl. No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
Let's try. You want to try some rapid fire with me? So rapid fire questions are just the first thing that comes into your head. All right.
Okay, perfect.
Ready? Favorite crazy sign?
Ooh,
Or top three. It doesn't matter. Or three favorite. It doesn't matter.
I do. I hold on because I did write them down
You
last
wrote
night.
them down and you don't remember? Yikes. I know
Sorry.
La Charanga, right? No.
No, not even. Well, okay.
Muevolo.
My first one, my favorite one is Muévelo. That's for sure. Muévelo. Yes. Do you know
Okay.
that one?
Yes, yes. I move it very
Yes.
good to Muevolo.
Yeah.
Did you meet any celebrities? Yes or no?
Yes, Dre.
What? Did you say
Yes.
Dre?
Yes.
Where?
In Turks and Caicos, not in Club Med, but just right next doors.
What was he doing there?
Well, he has a house.
Oh, he does.
And yes, he has. We actually saw him like several times last year, like 3 times, 4 times.
Really? Okay.
Yes, right next to Club Med Turquoise, there's a new bar called Aziza, and he goes there very, very often.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
yeah, this one time we went to the bar and he was there. And of course, we were all crazy about him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Do you have a recurring dream that you're still working in Club Med? Some people do. I do. Do you? Has this happened to you since you've left?
Yes,
Do
of
you
course.
dream?
I
And
yes, I dream very often.
and let me guess, you're trying to plan something. That's something's going wrong. Do you have it, or is it a nice happy dream?
It's a nice, happy dream. Most
What?
of the
Okay,
time, yes, most
you're
of the
lucky.
time it's about crazy signs or just at the beach. I dream
Crazy
a lot with
signs.
the beach.
You dream about
Yes.
crazy signs? Okay, yikes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, most
Um,
of the time it's about crazy signs or just having fun at the beach.
okay, got it.
Yes.
Now, is there anything that now that you've left Club Med, is there anything you miss about it?
Yes. The thing that I'm really missed a lot is speaking French, I think. Yeah. Because now I'm working in another resort and I don't speak French at all. And
Oh, really? Okay.
yes, that's my passion. The
And
language
there
it's
aren't
my
any French guests at this resort where you work?
there's any guess. I mean sometimes we have a few of Quebecois, but not very often, honestly. I mean I start to work in this resort like first 4 months ago. I think I only have spoken in French like 2 times, 3 times maybe.
And it's weird. Like if you don't speak it, you can lose it pretty fast, right? It's
Yes,
crazy.
exactly. Yes, but I try to, believe it or not, I try to think in French. I force me to do it. I also do my notes in French because I don't want to forget it. I did a master's degree to become a French teacher, so I really don't want to forget it.
Well, when you were living in France, those 5 years, you must have at least dreamt once in French, right? I mean, because I think that happens to everyone. Like, did you have a dream where you were actually speaking French in your dream? Because that's pretty common.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And actually, most of the time, even when I'm just speaking, sometimes I just say words in French or like in French, but I in a Spanish way, you know.
Okay.
And then I just laugh myself and like, come on, seriously? Did you seriously say that?
Did you pick up any Quebecois expressions that you're able to say to repeat here? Like, I'm
I
not
think
good.
I'm not able to repeat it
Oh,
here,
okay,
but
okay, okay. So I see they
but
taught you.
yes,
They
I
taught you the
yeah
good stuff. Okay, no, okay,
yeah
got
yeah
it.
yeah yeah. Of course, they teach me the good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there is this word that everyone learned like on the first day. No, so
Oh, I know. I wanted to hear. Are you able to?
I'm not able to say it, but I
No,
can
but
share it with you in private.
okay. Now, let me ask you this: you worked in
Yeah.
three different villages. Did you ever come across any GMs that stood out to you?
Yes, yes. I want to talk about Maria and Kevin. This is a couple that I met in Cancun. I was doing their wedding in Cancun. And we started to speak in 2019 and they were supposed to get married in 2020. But pandemic and COVID. So we pushed the wedding for 2021. Everything was beautiful. But before going to Turks, I went to Isla Mujeres and I dropped my phone into the ocean. So I lost all of my contacts. Then 1 week after I moved to Turks with a new phone, with new contacts. So I lost their contact. It turns out that May next year, last year, I mean, she texted me, the bride texted me and she said, Lili, how are you? I hope you're doing great. This is Maria. I don't know if you remember me. You were my wedding coordinator. I replied to her. I told her, of course, I remember you very well. They are a very lovely couple. Well, she texted me because she actually said, like, Lili, I'm looking into the Club Med Turquoise TripAdvisor and I see all over around Lili. Is that you? Are you in Club Med Turquoise? And I told her, yes, I'm here. And she said, well, I'm gonna see you later because we are heading to Turquoise. And I was like, oh my God, couldn't believe it. The couple that I married in Club Med Cancun was coming to Club Med Turquoise. I met them in Cancun. I met them in Turquoise, and they came to visit me as well a second time, few months later.
Were they coming to renew their vows or just coming for a visit?
Just coming to visit. Just
Oh, that's
coming to
nice.
visit. Yes, they saw my name on TripAdvisor of Club Med Turquoise, and they were just coming to visit, and I spent the whole week with them. And they came back a second time in August, and we spent one more week. And they are a very, very beautiful couple. Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm an old school geo. It's just weird to hear a current geo say, "Oh, they saw my name on TripAdvisor." It just sounds so weird for someone like me, an old school geo. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Well, now GMs name us, now GMs
Yeah.
put our names in TripAdvisor. So yeah.
And also there's I don't know if you know, there's a Facebook group devoted to Club Med Turks and Caicos.
Yes.
Got like
I'm
10,000
still
members.
part of that.
Okay, yeah.
Club.
So I
Yes.
see I'm also a member, and I see a lot of the geo names, and a lot of GMs want to know what to bring for the geos. Like, does anyone need
Yes.
insect repellent or suntan lotion? I'm like, oh, man, I wish we had this back in our day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I actually was one of those geos asking for many things from the States.
Okay.
I mean, the island is so expensive. So
Yes.
and also most of the time you don't find what you need. So
exactly.
yeah.
Were there any other GMs that stood out to you?
Yeah, there was this GM. His name is Amit. I actually met him in the last week of December of 2021. I remember he was very, very nice. We were partying with his brother the whole time. But so funny because we never exchanged social media or phone or many, many things. We never exchanged anything. And then he left. He left Turquoise. I didn't have the chance to say goodbye to him. And that's it. 1 year after, exactly 1 year after, the day that I arrived to Charlevoix after my lunch, I'm on my way to my room. And then I see this guy coming from the bottom of the hallway. And he's getting closer to me. And I see him. And every time I was looking at him, I was like, hold on, I know this guy. He looks familiar. So it turns out that it was the same guy that I met for New Year's Eve in Turquoise. I met him in Charlevoix, and he was for New Year's Eve as well. So
That's a
he
small
was
world.
just yes. And we never exchanged social media or phone numbers, so I didn't have idea that he was there. So we met right after 1 year again.
So when you newer geos, I'm talking new from like 2022, 2023, when you exchange social media, do you mean like Instagram or
Instagram or Facebook? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we always share with GMs, Instagram or Facebook.
Well, you must have a couple of hundred friends or more, right?
Yeah. And nowadays geos even post on their Facebook to let know to the GMs. Like, guys, I'm going to Club Med Punta Cana or Club Med Cancun. If you want to visit, please let me know. I'm going to be here for 6 months.
That's so weird.
Now it's like a geo thing. So
okay. Yeah, because one of my questions to to older geos is, hey, are you glad we didn't have so much social media? But I can't ask you that because you grew up with social media. Your whole time in Club Med was with social media, so wouldn't. It would be weird if you didn't have it, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Lili, this has been so amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Thanks to you, Greg.
I just want people to know that you or we are not paid by Club Med Charlevoix. I honestly don't. I've never been. I don't know anything really about that village. Okay. So I'm glad that you worked there and were able to answer my questions about it. And I'll probably never go. I'm just saying I've never been. We are not paid by Club Med. We're just
if you ski, you should go. It's a beautiful place. The village is new. It's beautiful.
I'll go sledding with you. Okay.
All right. Perfect. Let me know. Let me know. I don't think I will come back to Canada.
The slowest one down the mountain will win. Okay.
Truly.
No, but seriously, un grand merci beaucoup de mon part pour partager votre histoire avec nous. Merci beaucoup, Lili.
Merci beaucoup à toi, Greg. Ça fait plaisir de partager mon histoire avec toi et avec tout le monde.
Wow, you really do have a French accent. Okay.
Yes, I do.
Tu peux le dire en québécois maintenant?
Oof,
No, I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
oof, that's hard for me. I can still say it again in
You
French
got
if you want it,
you,
but
you
not in
gotta
Quebecois.
you gotta stretch the vocal cords. Okay. Well, yeah. So thank you so much again, Lily. This has been
Thanks to
awesome.
you, Greg. Thanks for the opportunity, and
And
it's been a pleasure.
I'm going to let you thank our listeners, but I'm going to ask you to do it in 3 languages. Is that okay?
It's perfect. There's no problem.
Take it away.
There's no problem. Perfect. Gracias a todos los ex Gios y los Gios que han estado escuchando mi versión, mi historia. Agradezco a Greg a la oportunidad y bueno, esperemos cruzarnos en algún momento. Thank you. Thank you for everyone. Thank you for Greg for letting me have this time to share my experience and my adventure while I was a Geo. Merci beaucoup à tous. Merci beaucoup à Greg aussi pour l'opportunité qu'il me donne de partager mon expérience et aussi mes aventures, toutes les aventures que j'ai vécues au Club Med quand j'étais Géo.
Wow. Thank you so much. I think that was our first trilingual, goodbye. Thank you so much,
Oh,
Lily.
that's nice. Happy to
Thank
hear that.
you. It is. Well, that was the one, the only Lili Alferez, and we will see you all next week. Bye.
Bye bye.